What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Meek, the Uber Geek. Thank you very much for joining me here on Pretty Dece, your daily entertainment and pop culture show. We're going to jump into the world of video games today. We recently talked about Fortnite, the super awesome free-to-play game that is growing in popularity incredibly quickly, specifically the Battle Royale mode of Fortnite. It's completely free, you can jump in, you don't have to spend a single dime on it, and it's really a blast. It is an awesome version of the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds style of gameplay. You versus 99 other people on what is essentially a murder island. It's last man standing. We talked about last time that I am really addicted to the game. I'm really loving it. I'm trying to get better, and I am getting better at the Battle Royale mode. It's definitely slow going, but it's super fun as we go. Well, Epic Games, the developers of Fortnite, made a really awesome update this week to Fortnite. They essentially revamped the map. So the big thing about these games is that they have the big island. You drop onto that island, and the island, the map itself, is huge, massive. Tons of places for you to drop. Navigating across the map would take a very long time. And as the game progresses, the circle gets smaller and randomly zeroes in on different parts of the map. So every game you play ends up being very different depending on the portion of the map that it sort of zeroed in on, that you ended up in, that you dropped in, via your parachute, and so forth. So there's really a lot to explore on the map, but Epic wasn't happy with how the map currently was. The west side of the map apparently was a little bit underpopulated. Players tended to not drop in that direction. Players tended to not go over in that direction. Most people headed towards the east side of the map, which features a few more locales, a few more named locations on the map, a few more points of interest. So this week, Epic updated this map, which is a massive deal. This map is huge, and basically fleshed out the west side of the map. They added half a dozen or so new points of interest on the west side, including such awesome places as an entirely new town, like this big, huge town with streets and multi-story buildings, an underground cave system, and various other little places over there, and just in general kind of revamped the map as a whole. So lots of little tweaks all around the place, a little bit of moving stuff around. And they separated each section of the map into a more distinct biome. So when you pull the map up and compare the new version versus the old version, the new version you can distinctly see this is the swamp, this is the forest area, this is the plains, this is the farmland, and it all is kind of colored and spread out in a way that makes a bit more sense. So I've been playing the new mode here in Fortnite, or the new map, just to check it out, just to see what it's like here briefly, since it just came out very recently, and the new stuff is awesome. So everyone's wanting to jump in and check out, like, the new town, for example. So it's extremely populated. Tons of players are dropping in those locations. So you really have to be at the top of your game to survive right now. But what little time I have survived in these areas is very cool. The town has a ton of hiding places, a ton of building opportunities, and lots of loot, and it looks really, really cool. One of the fun little things they added in the game, they added like a soccer field that has a soccer ball that you can kick around. When you kick it into the goal, there's a little explosion, and then it actually keeps track of your score. There's a little score counter. So, expect tons of hilarious gifs on the internet of two opponents meeting each other, not actually fighting, and instead playing soccer to decide who's going to win. If that hasn't happened already, it's bound to happen. The other thing that this map update does is a bit more subtle. We do have these new locations, we have these new areas, and by adding more points of interest on the map, they're creating a map that lends itself to more aggressive play, which really, when you start getting into Fortnite, is what you are pushed to do and what you really need to do. All the challenges in Fortnite are about, getting kills with certain guns, And the fun in Fortnite is getting in the fray, is going out and actually getting into encounters and getting better at shooting, getting better at building. A lot of players' initial instincts will be just to hide from everyone. And really what that ends up doing is you hide for 20 minutes and then get killed without even seeing who killed you, and then you feel like you wasted your time. The only way to get better at the game is to get in there, get in the fray, and get killed over and over again. And Fortnite has really kind of like nudged the game in that direction, nudged you in that direction, to kind of give you a hint that that's what you should be doing. And that's really nice because these games are really, really fast to get back into. You don't feel like you're really missing out on a lot when you get killed early because you're back in the game in a matter of minutes, you're dropping again in a matter of minutes, and then you can go try it all over again. So I think people initially want to play it a little bit more cautiously like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and these new map updates, by making the map a bit more dense and by drawing players into these larger locations, tends to kind of push people more into a Fortnite playstyle rather than a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds playstyle. Nonetheless, this is an incredibly cool update. Lots of awesome new free stuff in this free-to-play game. Super cool of Epic to put all this stuff in. So massive, massive cool stuff going on there. So check out Fortnite if you haven't already. Get in that game and shoot me, because that's what everyone else is doing. So that's going to do it for Pretty Dece for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Make sure that you like Pretty Dece on Facebook, facebook.com/PrettyDeceShow. Follow me on Twitter @PrettyDeceShow and visit PrettyDeceShow.com. Also, make sure you are subscribed to Pretty Dece everywhere we show up, be it YouTube, be it the podcast feed, or on the Anchor app, which you can find in your app store. Make sure you're subscribed there because you never want to miss any of the daily episodes or any of the content.